I feel like if you could do this, you could go to the Boulder, like, and expect to do it, kind of thing.
I have a few replicas, the coolest of which is definitely the replica of Burden of Dreams. They're actually molds of 3D prints I got from scanning the holds. I was really looking for something that would like require me to improve. Today's session is definitely my favourite type of session. I just get to like go at hard climbs. I think I like board climbing most as a form of training for outdoor climbing because it feels most applicable. Especially having a home board gives you the freedom to adapt the climbs you make to be so specific to the climbs you do outside. So I usually do quite a bit of mobility just in the house before I come down to the board room so that like my lower body is kind of like woken up. When I get down here, I pretty much exclusively fingerboard for the first part of the session, just to get my fingers like properly recruited. I'll fingerboard in half crimp, but most importantly, I like fingerboard with like full flexion in my pinky, because lots of the time I'm climbing like that on my board.
Like one of those boards that like measures your pulling force.
Yeah, and measures like your balance. The balance feature I think is cool, because especially when I'm rehabbing my old injuries, you kind of like make sure you're putting the right force through your injured hand. You basically get like a weight score on it. So I weigh 19 kilos.
Oh wow. You don't look it.
Then you can go, and then look, if I like hang off this 2-finger drag, I can do 150% body weight. Yeah.
God, I thought your thing was full crimping, not 2-finger drags.
Who'd have thought?
And once my fingers feel like 100% warm, so I could almost like pull on like any climb, I then will start on the board. So I'm like mostly warmed up. My body just like needs like to like connect a little bit more on the wall. So generally by the time I've done all that, within about 4 problems on my board, like I'm usually pretty much good to go on anything. I have like a load of like little arbitrary rules which I hold myself to, where like I won't let myself cut loose in certain positions. So like often it's a lot easier to cut loose. It's actually dangerous. But nobody needs to know that. There we go. Climbing safe. But yeah, if I cut loose, then
doesn't count. No sound.
Doesn't count. Which is rather contrasting to the supposedly cool style in which people like to celebrate training. Campsing. It's remarkably uncool, but it's quite useful.
Cut loose on that one.
Thank you.
No
Oh,
tick.
yeah.
No tick.
Oh no, there's prescribed cut loose. So like, I kept my foot on, and then I cut loose. So like, plus that's not actually a very hard tensiony move to get to it. I don't get many guests, but they often disrespect my arbitrary board rules. I'm not bitter about it. One of the arbitrary rules is I have to keep my foot on, but on top of that, I also take my lower hand off and then go to the next hole.
I see.
Which I don't really know why. I guess I did it one day when I felt really good on the right hand hold, and so it was kind of just like an indication of feeling like it was going to be a good session, and it's like requires more strength. Basically it's a bad way to do it, but it's quite fun anyway. It's all in aid of training. And it looks cool if you ever do it outside. And that's what we're really inclined for.
Aesthetics.
Aesthetics only.
Did I make that one harder by standing in the dab range?
No, it's good. It's good. Maintain
Good
more
training.
tension. I never thought about you do all this. Imagine a Sam.
Must have Sam standing behind you.
Nice.
Do you ever fall off your warm-ups?
Yeah, it's usually quite a good indicator of how I'm feeling. Today's session is definitely my favourite type of session, when it's like self-directed limit bouldering. I just get to like go at hard climbs and like rest as much as I need, kind of thing. Safety first. Actually not true.
Gains first, 80 seconds.
Gains first. This one is how to describe this boulder. Oh yeah, probably small holes and body tension.
Ah.
But
I could have taken a punt at
they're
that.
actually a bit like flatter edges. Yeah.
Have you done it before?
Yeah.
Can you slap a grade on it?
Oh god. Okay. How long did it take? It did actually take me quite a long time to do. Yeah, it took me a long time to do, and then I made it a bit harder. So it probably is pretty hard, but sometimes quite hard to tell. It does suit me well. We'll call it 8B. Maybe 8B?
I've seen you do 8B in one go.
Yeah, but it's still like, it's not one of my hard
Board
ones.
8B.
Yeah, board 8B. Nice, I feel quite good today.
Very good.
Yeah. I don't usually do that one straight away. Usually when I'm making a climb, there'll be one move which I think like, oh, that would be a really fun move, or it would work something I struggle with. I will often find that move first, and it can be like anywhere on the boulder, and then usually I'll extend either side of it. This is a foot follow board, which I really rate. And so often, like when I pick a move, I need to choose the feet, but the feet I choose are also going to be the hands. So then as soon as you've done a move, you've almost built like a lot of the boulder, because you've got like holes which you need to like make work for the bottom section to do that move. I've actually never done that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I basically did it. I dropped the move to like the middle last week.
Wowzers.
No,
on you, man.
my little.
How hard is it?
7B. Board replicas are a tool which I've used a little bit in the past, but never really gotten into them. And I think the thing that really inspired focusing a bit more on board replicas was that I really began to notice, like spending consistent like time on my board, how much easier problems which once felt really hard got. And so it was quite clear to me that beyond just getting physically stronger, I was really learning the movements and seeing a lot of benefits. If I can have that applied to an outdoor boulder, so if I set a replica in here, I'm learning that movement for an outdoor boulder, it feels far more functional. So I started really enjoying replicas. I have a few replicas, the coolest of which is definitely the replica of Burden of Dreams. I actually rebuilt the board to put that up there at 45. They're actually molds of 3D prints I got from scanning the holds, which is like amazing, a level of specificity I've never gone into. I kind of think every time I feel like the holds feel good until you pull on and like the feet are terrible and they all face bad positions. That was terrible English. They all face the wrong way. So I tested the texture of these holds like in would have been like January. I had this hold and it felt slippy, but kind of like the same kind of slippy as you get on the rock, because it is quite like slick granite.
that was back when it was like low single figures.
Yeah,
so
not-
like a bit
Not
bitey.
20 degrees and humid. So how does this compare to the real thing?
It's hard to tell just in how warm it's been since I've had it, but it feels harder. And it does actually feel steeper, and I don't really know why. I think it's because it was really hard to get like an accurate gauge of like even though it looks like a crisp face, I think it undulates a little bit. And so it's quite hard to get like an accurate measurement. So I put it at 45, which was like kind of like felt like the upper limit of it. And it does feel a little steeper, which is probably the right way for it to be. I feel like if you could do this, you could go to the Boulder like and expect to do it kind of thing. I just put this wooden one up the other day just because at the moment you can only really have like a couple of goes on the replica just because it's like 20s and like kind of like you lose a load of skin. So it's a bit less fun. So on this one you can actually like have a decent amount of goes and not lose that much skin. Oh, okay, yeah, that's good. So that's the thing that amazes me about this, like the actual on burden as well. I mean, it didn't feel like it then, but when I was on the actual thing, like pulling on, it felt like I could like generate as like hard as I wanted to. Like I could like really like shake on the holes, and in the position, I felt really solid. Like again, like it felt like I could add weight, but I just couldn't seem to like move my body in the right path. It's kind of like a real complex puzzle.
I was really looking for something that would like require me to improve, and it requires me to improve in something that I'm not very good at. So generally I think I'm good on like small holds when you can like generate force away from the wall, and like usually it's like I'm putting a lot of weight in my fingers but my legs are doing the same thing and generating force away from the wall and like keeping me really close to the wall. And I think that style is something that I've often like muscled climbs into that style in order to do them. And it feels like this one you just can't hide from the need to be able to like move really snappily between the holds. And the footholds are also just too slick and too like flat to like really like generate any inward force on. So you have to like kind of keep maintaining pressure, like pushing almost, as opposed to like usually like I like to like kind of almost dig with my toes. Yeah, the skin game was bad. That was my own irresponsibility. I was just too psyched. Got into a vicious cycle of skin damage.
Oh God. No.
Not today.
No. I might go back to me wooden holes.
Yeah, sounds wise.
Comfort. But seems natty to train on, however. It's quite an accurate representation of your own of my own experience on the bowl. So I kind of think it might be quite good, as well as like getting used to the holds, also preparing your skin to be strong in the right spot.
I set a replica for the sit moves in Hours of Wonder because I tried that last summer. It's amazing climbing, it's quite nice on the skin. I felt very much limited by the number of like goes I could have on it because of like how strong my shoulders were.
Oh yes. It's literally only like the shoulder transition which I would do on this. So I've like put the foot and like the hand and the shoulder in place, and then basically the bit that I found hard, I could actually almost get the hold okay, but it was the transition between like being like locked really close to my body and then like extending my right arm and like kind of like lay backing the left hand. So it's just trying to get used to like kind of doing this movement.
That looks harder than the,
I just need to
the real thing.
I just need to recruit my shoulders. I didn't quite have my fingers on the back of the hole. But that's good because basically just by doing that once, my shoulder feels exhausted. So it's working the right thing.
Another replica I set was a project I tried more recently in Badger Cove, which I think is like a real conceptual project. I'm actually very confident that it will go, and I'm quite keen to invest some more time into it. But it's definitely the hardest thing I've tried in the UK thus far.
Yeah, operation.
Okay, that was good. That felt good. That was off my bad foot as well. Go on. Good. That was a dramatic fall. The thing is though, on the real thing, you've done about 8 moves to get into this sequence.
Yeah, you're not coming at it fresh.
Yeah.
My actual sessions on the board are, I feel, probably shorter than most people anticipate. I think once I'm going, my board session would probably usually be about 90 minutes, like an hour and a half or so. I want every go to be like high quality and to like replicate me trying to do something when I'm climbing outside. And very rarely would you have 90 minutes on a project right at your limit and still feel like fresh to give it burns. And also you do rest a lot less when you're like training on a board than you would outside.
Yes! I didn't even do the individual moves on that last session.
Is that the first time you've done it?
Yeah! Sounds really good. Yeah! It's just luck. Oh, I split my cuticle. Damn. Oh. Yeah.
I thought it was like one of your warm down ones.
No, I've never done that one before. Nice.
I wouldn't go for more than 4 days a week on a board. It's really intense and like definitely puts a lot of strain in the fingers. And if that's not really enough volume, if I'm trying to do more volume in my training, the rest will be supplemented with like fingerboard and a lot of conditioning. So I do quite a lot of that training. When it comes to like a tapering phase, it'll be mostly all climbing, but in like a base training phase, I do a lot of other training as well.
Blob thing.
Have you ever tried it? It's so hard.
What's it called?
The oh, actually, I think the metal connies might be okay today. There was one time I had some great metal connies and I picked it up and it looked so easy, like it was like really chilling for me, and I've never really had it since.
How much is it? 25 kilograms.
25 keggers, I think. Yeah.
25
It's
keggers.
deceivingly hard. It's like a little. It's like one of those little grip-like feats of strength. It's so hard. Nah, I've got no hope with my left hand.
Go on. I'm gonna bang it out. Can you film me? Watch this.
Oh, there it is. Oh. Piece of pash. That's a very good estimate. Wow, I think you might be the first person I've seen that just like pissed that without like trying it like this.
Maybe weighing 85 keggers comes in handy for something.
I've had this one for years. I probably did it 3 or 4 times like over the past couple of years, and then I basically changed my right hand board, and now the last move is much harder. So this one's probably really hard.
Slap a grade on it.
I don't know. So, people love grades, don't they?
They do love grades, which is why I'm asking.
Outdoors it would definitely be 8C, I think. But board, 8B plus board.
Okay, that seems fair.
good day today. I did this for the first time last week.
Ooh.
It's maybe my hardest board climb to date. Can't lose the feet. This one's actually really hard in the feet. Close. That was close.
That looked good, man.
I definitely used to like climb to the living end when I was a kid, but I think it's quite dangerous from like injury risk, and also I don't know if there's much benefit to learning to climb when you're acutely fatigued. Generally, if you're looking to try and do things which are really hard for you, you won't be doing it in that state anyway.
Come on.
It's a good little powerful one to finish off on there. Wow. That looks so chilling for you.